Hello and welcome to Isaan Flicks. This afternoon I decided to follow the dogs and take a look at a local irrigation canal which has had some work carried out on it during the past week with a mechanical digger. The canal has been cleaned up, widened and new banks prepared. A couple of young boys are trying out their hands at fishing with a net. It's a beautiful afternoon and I can now see the works have been quite extensive and it looks pretty good. The vegetation will soon grow back once the soil has settled. The dogs are having a good sniff about of the new soils. As we walk along, I thought I would share some brief history that I know about Isaan and the Isaan people. However, this is by no means an in-depth account. It is said the majority of Isaan peoples living in this northeast region of Thailand share linguistic, cultural and religious traditions with the Lao living across the Mekong River in Laos. Until the late 19th century, this region was made up of relatively independent kingdoms. In the early 20th century, the region was officially designated as Isaan, a term, it is said, derived from a Sanskrit meaning northeast. The Lao-speaking people of this region, who constitute the large majority of the population, separate themselves not only from the country of Laos, but also from central Thailand by referring to themselves as Khon Isaan. The Kumar or Khoi or Soi living in the southernmost part of the northeast region speak languages and follow traditions more closely related to those of Cambodia than to those of either the Thais or the Lao. The large province of Nakhon Ratchasima, also known as Karat, in the southwestern part of the northeast, was long an outpost of the Siamese Empire and includes people known as Thai Karat, who speak dialects closely related to central Thailand. Although the northeast remains home to much of the country's rural population, it also includes an escalating urban society. Among the fastest growing cities are Karat, Phnom Penh, Ubon Ratchathani and Udon Thani, sometimes called the Big Four. It is also said that very little is known of Thailand's earliest inhabitants, but there are archaeological sites in the northeast of the country that contain evidence of rice cultivation and bronze castings that date back over 5,000 years. In the early days, a succession of tribal groups controlled what we now know as Thailand. The Hmong and Khmer peoples established powerful kingdoms that included large areas of the country. These kingdoms came in contact with other South Asian peoples and absorbed their religious, political and cultural ideas, as well as their institutions, and these later influenced the development of Thailand's culture and national identity. Then there is the Thai people who originally lived in southwest China and migrated into the main part of Southeast Asia over many centuries. The first mention of their existence in the region is in a 12th century AD inscription at Angkor Wat, which refers to some dark brown people as being vassals of the Khmer monarch. So that was briefly how Thailand became known as Siam and its people the Siamese. Well, I think I've finished the history for today, and I think I may make a better video in the future on the subject of Thailand. So let us continue walking with the dogs. I think I will finish this video now, but if you did enjoy it, please think about giving me a thumbs up, leaving me a comment, especially if you want to hear more about the history of Thailand, and share the video, but better still, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. So until the next time, please take care, and it's a very goodbye from me.